found him at the magic moment, and that one frag that Rafa scored against him put DAHANG in this entire position. So if he has to face off against Razy, if he can conquer AV3K, there's going to be a real battle for the spot to do justice to what happened. But that's in the future. This is the now. AV3K versus DAHANG. Corrupted Keep. Let's get the show on the road. That SSG already looking so good. DAHANG trying to go in for the Pika, but the SSG was just peppering down over and over. And AV3K, with that AV3K aggression, to start the show.
Absolutely brutal showdown there at the Rockets. AV3K getting the better of DAHANG, but he's very weak, needs to be careful. DAHANG knows this. It's a little bit of nail damage, and now it's going to be a machine gun cess fight here. AV3K needs to be careful. He's going to back away with 32 HP and grab a bubble on the way to the heavy. Still a little bit weak.
Well, fortunately, thanks to the damage that DAHANG at least was able to do, that might have been one of the reasons he popped Pika, was if the SSG is point blank and there was a chance to die, really maximizing the damage, just going in for that kamikaze. And it put AV3K so weak that he couldn't really sit and pressure DAHANG too much, allowing DAHANG to create the Mega, and now, you know, has a bit of a fighting chance. However, that heavy machine gun is doing so much damage. DAHANG pretty weak, and he has to try and retreat to collect those smalls, but how much is still around on the map, that remains to be seen. He's getting a few of them here and there, needs to get some armor too, and there it is, heavy armor to boot.
AV3K will get the Mega. One lone bullet from the turret hitting DAHANG, giving him AV3K the information here as he makes his way up to the upper green. He's going to push in with LG. DAHANG with a little bit of rockets, not going to land any damage. Here's more LG from AV3K. DAHANG's going to drop and make his escape towards the Boneyard. There's going to be a 50 shard for him. More cess. AV3K relentless on the chase. There's the peeker, but the rocket will get the frag.
Just AV3K hitting that right now. His miracle weapon has been heavy machine gun, like for sure. The amount of damage he's able to distribute to DAHANG, making it so hard for him to run away. I know, you know, the whole point of Strong is trying to use the speed, but the LG absolutely annihilating the HP remaining. DAHANG's going to fall again. AV3K, plenty of opportunities to try and heal back up. However, he has got to be careful, get a little bit of that information. The moment he hears him on the left, I'm sure AV3K will probably try and dedicate, get some armor. There it is, looking for it. He's found what he's looking for. LG's looking good again, however, he's very weak.
There's
Pika,
the
the finishing blow.
Really good LG there from DAHANG. AV3K trying to stand his ground. DAHANG getting the better of him, putting himself on the board. Does have position on the Mega, but here comes the turret. This is going to be bad news, and he's going to have to concede, and he might even get fragged here. 17 HP. He's going to slide his way out of there, try and stack back up. There's 225s, but still extremely weak as AV3K dives in with the LG in the red room and finishes it off with the shotgun.
And AV3K super aware that DAHANG's going to retreat into the nail gun room. You know, there's so many options to try and heal back up that retreating there can be, you know, in many ways, maybe you didn't have a choice, but AV3K says, well, I know where he is. Let's just go and finish what we started. It's currently 4-1. This has been a rather explosive map. Could have gone either way, that fight, but thanks to AV3K's stack and some wonderful LG action, he's going to take out DAHANG for another time. He's pretty weak, though. DAHANG knows AV3K's really weak here. I don't think he's going to be quite sitting on the Mega. However, the turret is peppering some extra damage to help him out. 2 versus 1, or 2 versus 2 if we see the Pika come out.
AV3K's still pretty weak, trying to maintain position on this heavy. DAHANG from down below, gonna try and fight with LG. There's the peeker, a rocket into the lava, extra LG damage to finish it, and that was a very, very unfortunate bounce for DAHANG. AV3K looking so strong, 6-1, rocket off the spawn, down comes the turret. DAHANG's gonna be able to deal with that a little bit better than usual here, as the angle not there for the turret, but AV3K's so weak, gonna be able to drop down on the Mega, and DAHANG is still so hurt. 225s to work with, blocking off that entry with the rocket. Good placement from AV3K on that 50 shard with his rocket, but again, stacks about even now. That could have been bad for DAHANG.
I feel like AV3K's accuracy has just been dynamite so far. The amount of crucial shots he's hitting that put DAHANG in a horrendous position, even down to his rocket placement so far, it's making DAHANG a little bit tricky to maneuver around. Speaking of which, count up the 100. Yeah, DAHANG finishes the job, which is so important for him. And now he's able to get the Mega. The question is, what can he get from this? So far, none of his frags have been major impactful. I love that positioning, actually, that he's kind of sitting back a bit. If he knows AV3K's coming around the corner, it's likely he has SSG spawn. So if we're point blank, that's just suicide. Let's try and outrange the SSG a little bit.
Really good spawn frag for DAHANG there. 6-3, not yet at the half-minute mark. DAHANG has plenty of time. There's the peeker play. Gets a good amount of damage there. He's going to chase through with a little bit of LG. Can't really land it. Mega's going to be up soon, but the rocket is going to delete AV3K. And then just a little bit of leftover business dealing with that turret there. 6-4, DAHANG fighting back.
This, to me, I feel could be a real seesaw match. You know, if DAHANG's now able to establish control again, thanks to the fact there's a huge delay in between Heavy and Mega. DAHANG might be in a position here to just, really strong arm his way and fight with these pickups. AV3K, I imagine, is not going to allow himself to be bullied off too much. There's quite the tri-bolt 1v1 taking place. AV3K coming off a little bit weaker in this. And here comes the swap to the heavy machine gun. DAHANG really trying to hit a sweet spot for AV3K, being a little bit elusive, and DAHANG unable to get the mega. AV3K getting some wonderful damage in there, and he's going to punish it accordingly. Get a free frag for his trouble. Oh wow. No, the turret.
A lot of damage from that turret there as AV3K knows he's in the boneyard. Can he catch him out? DAHANG sliding away, 7-4. AV3K on the chase. He smells blood. He wants to finish this. There's one rocket, not going to land any damage. The second one isn't as well. A little bit of LG that's going to force DAHANG it through the telly. But he did get a good steal here. Turret is up for AV3K as he wants to position himself for this mega. He's going to throw that down for a little bit of extra insurance. 5:30 in. AV3K has that 3 frag lead. A little bit of machine gun damage there and a little bit rocket. But no damage yet. AV3K still trying to fight for control and finish this map out.
He's going to head him on the flip side. Bonus points for taking some of that rocket ammo. DAHANG once more looking pretty weak, and the fact that he's able to survive as long as he is against AV3K, who is just putting this absolute chokehold on him so far, is certainly better than nothing. The problem is, though, is that he's consistently just lower on stack. And the moment he fights for this item, lost the duel a little bit. Going towards Mega here, but taking so much damage. This LG has just been phenomenal for AV3K. Every time DAHANG's within LG range, the health just deletes.
Fantastic LG from AV3K there, absolutely. And DAHANG did not want to fall down there. That was curtains. A lot of machine gun damage. He's getting a lot of mileage out of that. There comes the peeker, and DAHANG gets that frag back as AV3K a little bit too aggressive in that situation there. 8-5 gives that frag back. Mega's right at his feet. The LG from DAHANG eats a rocket. The LG's really strong. Could finish this. Swaps to machine gun and gets the frag. 8-6.
There's such a wonderful use of peak potential on this map, purely because you can't instantly delete it the way you normally can on other maps, with the exception being the rocket launcher, which is obviously not always easy to hit a peeker with that shot. And DAHANG's using it wonderfully. He's using it when the time is right. He knows AV3K can't quite reach him in time. It's something you have to challenge. Also, he's doing the maths in his head. He knows when AV3K's weak enough that peeker can really be like a high pressure tool, kind of like now. He's done so much damage. Here comes the rain. The Hyper Blast is coming out!
Ooh,
Kamikaze boys!
What a dodge! And DAHANG with a long peeker play there. 8-7, eating a lot of rockets though. Needs to be careful, but wow, that play was fantastic from DAHANG. A little bit of LG. DAHANG is gonna tie it up at 8 in the red room.
Bonus stack thanks to the health files dropped, thanks to Strog's passive. And this peeker play has been wonderful so far. 8-8. This has been a back and forth by every description of the term. AV3K is going to fall there though. 8-9. DAHANG finally in the lead. It took almost 8 minutes, but he is finally in a situation where he has a little bit of control.
Good rocket.
Body block.
That was a huge frag at the mega right there for DAHANG. He takes the lead. Close to 2 minutes left. Doing good damage, keeping the pressure up on AV3K.
Hourglass
to be huge. Oh, great rockets from AV3K now. You can drop down 11 HP. DAHANG's going to somehow slide away and stay alive, but he's still extremely weak. AV3K looking for the frag here. The LG, it's going to be too strong from DAHANG as the Mega comes up right in time.
DAHANG just quicker on the uptake. He was in a better position in Mega. He was able to beat him to the punch in the room in general, and then was able to just prepare for the fight that came. AV3K was trying so hard to just be at least some cover, really, near LG. It's going to drop the turret, but it's not going to do anything this time round. And unfortunately, it's starting to slowly trickle away. Is DAHANG going to use this as an opportunity to really come back? Kamikaze's coming through. He knows the rocket. How? What is this insane control that DAHANG has with Pika?
I think he's been playing a flight simulator on the side because that is fantastic work from DAHANG. 11-8, close to a minute left. All the pressure's on AV3K because he's trying to pepper away while he's backpedaling, but he's so extremely weak. DAHANG could push in the red room here. Here's the LG. This could be another frag, and it is. The swap to heavy machine gun will net him his 12th.
AV3K spent such a wonderful job this entire map, just having such a level of dominance over the map, making it really hard for DAHANG to maneuver. But now he's had this just, it's the playing the dance, right? Collecting the Mega and Heavy, rotating it as you go, thanks to the movement benefits of Strog in the first place. He's able to kind of just get in and out. Very hard for AV3K to now keep up with him, and DAHANG consistently just being more stacked up. Peak is coming out again. Yeah, way too risky. Let's just cancel that. Come back later.
30 seconds. AV3K needs to find some frags. Down by 4. DAHANG is just going to hang out in the tri-bolt here.
Could say he's going to DAHANG out.
going to tri-bolt to just run the clock out? Is that too bad? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, the LG there. Havok trying to get at least another one, but DAHANG with a good, solid defensive LG as the time will run out. And that was such a good turnaround from DAHANG. AV3K had like the strongest start on Corrupted Keep.
Absolutely is not over until it's over. The moment DAHANG had even the smallest opportunity, he really ran with it. And AV3K, that mustn't have been an easy feat because AV3K was in a huge level of control for most of that map. And it looked kind of hard, you know. It was those DAHANG fans out there, I'm sure, would have been quite worried for him at the very start. Looked like AV3K had just a real hitting the ground running, right?
I mean, 10
very
seconds in,
yeah.
First frag, that's always what you want. Looking so strong, great LG work, great rockets. But DAHANG, you know, mid-round adjustment, he made it happen. I don't know what's in the energy drinks here in Italy, but I guess it took hold halfway through that duel.
But I know that, you know, quite a few of those frags took place where DAHANG was getting caught. Maybe there was a read there. Perhaps AV3K was just chasing it down because he could hear him or something similar. But DAHANG was completely unable to run away, and he was consistently getting kind of read into different rooms that he was entering too. AV3K was in just a perfect position to lock him down, shut him off, and then that exact kind of style kind of flipped on its head about the 6-minute mark, where DAHANG starts getting some really crucial frags. That kamikaze was so clutch, and it's moments like that that really, you know, when I say time and time again that I think that DAHANG has the best strog in the world, it is for reasons like that. Like here, you know, the Hyper Blaster to whittle him down, kamikaze.
Look at that play, that little shimmy.
He knows a rocket's coming. He knows the rocket's going to go in a straight line, so he goes to avoid it. It is just that level of control that I really think DAHANG is kind of the only player out there, at least of all in the QPL, that has that level of comfort so far. But it goes such a long way, and there are so many layers to this champion that some players are yet to reach.
Quite the pilot. I'd like to see if he swaps the joystick when he pops the
As he's got one of those flight simulator sticks just plugged into his PC.
I think I saw that up there on stage, so that might explain.
That was the most insane one. That was the craziest one for me. The fact that, you know, obviously he had a lot of information to decide, well, if he's nowhere else, he's got to be down near Boneyard. But when he's going full speed as well, I mean, I cannot sell hard enough how difficult that is to move at that speed, especially on a map like Corrupted Keep. As you can see, some pretty decent stats here. It was obviously, you know, fundamentally starting off with Corrupted Keep is going to change the stats a little bit thanks to no rail. But yeah, Strog fam, let's go.
Yeah, very, very strong play for DAHANG on that one to turn that around. And going into Blood Covenant Visor into Nyx, DAHANG might be able to close this out in 2. AV3K wants nothing to do with that, but we'll see. We'll see. He had a strong start, so anything can happen here. Different map. Different mindset as we're going to get into map number 2. DAHANG, AV3K right now on Blood Covenant. What do you think, Ketchup?
I mean, from start to finish, AV3K was fighting back on Corrupted Keep. You know, ultimately, once the momentum starts and someone has a huge stack on you, it is very hard to get back, you know, back up on that train when someone is just rotating as hard as they are. They're taking fights and they have more stack. You know, AV3K was essentially kind of doing what he could, but there was so much momentum from DAHANG. So I'd say that's going to be discarded, and we're going to go straight into map 2 fresh. You know, AV3K going in with the Nyx. There's always an interesting dynamic. We've seen this exact matchup actually when it was, I believe it was Rafa versus DAHANG. DAHANG was the one playing Nyx, and there was this crazy calculated use of just piercing sight, almost used exclusively when he knew Ghost Walk was active. And it was, in many ways, a direct counter pick. That's not to say this matchup will always go the same way. You know, DAHANG using the piercing sight there just to get some of that information. Now AV3K has that kind of get out of jail free card for roughly 30 seconds. The exception might be if DAHANG's able to collect some of those hourglasses, but for now AV3K has given him no information at all.
Relatively slow start here on Blood Covenant. We're a minute in. No real altercation quite yet. AV3K spamming rockets. Wow.
Ooh.
Never mind. All right. That was a fantastic shot there.
Definitely one way to open it. DAHANG had an impressive stack, and as long as you hit shots like that from range, it will whittle you down to a point where it's kind of risky to take a fight. But Vega's going to spawn. Wonderful read on the jump pad. I wonder if DAHANG just was so content that perhaps AV3K was going to be near Mega. You know, why wouldn't he be trying to take it? But tactically delaying it, which has put a chunky delay in between the 2 items, actually. So
here comes the aggressive Ghost Walk play. No rockets. He's going to have to use LG. He's going to drop down, swaps to rail. AV3K will miss, and DAHANG will make his great escape here. Still extremely weak. Might get this rail shot, and AV3K misses with the layup rail. DAHANG still staying alive, stacking back up off what he can. He is going to grab the heavy. But that's a missed opportunity for AVIC.
Absolutely, and it was the play too. That's now 2 times in a row where AVIC hasn't immediately gone for one of the major pickups, and DAHANG, you know, there's always a potential that perhaps DAHANG was kind of expecting AVIC to just be there, so he's gone down a certain route or a certain path, and AVIC has tactically positioned himself down there, knowing DAHANG's going to probably peek it or run around the corner, but he's missing the shots.
What a rail.
I feel like this shouldn't realistically have been a frag 1 for DAHANG. It really should be 1-0 AVIC right now. It's just accuracy failed him.
He ate so much tribal, but his rails are on point right now. DAHANG waiting to pop the vision and then peeking one last time, grabbing that frag. I think the rail is going a long way for DAHANG right now. He's making his way over to the Mega. He's going to secure that and grab a 50 shard, and again, grabbing those vials to get vision up to use as he pleases.
Thankfully for a 1-0, that's plenty of time to make stuff happen, especially when you're this early on in a map. So piercing sight gets used. There's that information. Ghost Walk should be activated, but the question's going to be, can DAHANG force it out of AVIC? And then there's going to be a really nice sort of like rhythm of, there's going to be a bit of an offset between the ability usage. So maybe the Ghost Walk versus piercing sight won't be as prominent for a while, but we'll see what happens. It might take a little bit longer for DAHANG to try and secure this frag, if he's able to secure it at all, really. AVIC trying to cover his base, and now we're going to get a straight up trade. Heavy's going to get taken, as is Mega. And now the cycle continues thanks to the hourglasses. Piercing sight's going to be available. Hasn't been able to force out the Ghost Walk though, so it is going to introduce once more that interesting dynamic. I really love seeing like ability versus ability, because you don't really get to see like a direct counter in this game all that often.
Yeah, it's almost like a game of chicken at that point. It's like, are you going to pop Ghost Walk first and then I'm going to use my vision and chase you, or what? Am I going to use my vision first to get information and then you're going to use Ghost Walk to escape? It's always interesting to see the dynamic and how players utilize their abilities here. It's DAHANG grabbing that upper green. AVIC again missing with another drive-by rail there. He's going to want some of these back here as DAHANG grabs that Mega. Still up 1-0, 4 minutes in. He's going to pop that vision and almost gets an opportunity of this rail here as he's playing a little bit of the dance game through the telly there. A little bit. Step forward, 2 steps back. Here comes some rocket damage. AVIC aggressing here, using the Ghost Walk. DAHANG needs to get out of there.
But thanks to the piercing sight being used prior, AVIC able to use it to completely disengage the situation. DAHANG looking for a safe approach. Looks like Mega and Heavy spawn at the same time once more. AVIC not going to be satisfied though, wants to pepper out some damage on DAHANG first, and if he needs to, he can now retreat towards Mega, but that one hurt a little bit. DAHANG, is he going to be able to make the chase? The goal here is definitely going to be to undo the work, and he successfully performs it. Can't quite make the jump, unfortunately, thanks to Visor, but entry damage. Able to get some Miracle Rockets, misses the rail, really bet a lot into that 2-piece combo, and the spawn trap from AVIC. Nice positioning there to influence DAHANG. And the damage accordingly, putting DAHANG really on the back foot, fresh off spawn with no weaponry, no ammunition. That's why AVIC's going to go in for the chase. All DAHANG really has is an SSG. However, it has to be respected with the stack that AVIC has left.
Yeah, AVIC very weak himself, doesn't want to aggress too much, but he smelled that frag. He wanted it real bad. Good play off the spawn. He's going to go grab this Mega. No, he's going to delay as he spots out DAHANG. He's going to leave up the item for just a second here, making sure DAHANG doesn't try anything too crazy here and then double back for it. Tied at 1, just over the halfway mark here. There's a lot of machine gun damage, a lot of LG returned from DAHANG. Stacks about even again. The machine gun comes out for AVIC. He really wants this frag. He's going to miss with the rail, 49 HP. He's going to have to be very careful here. He does grab a 50 shard on his way out. Neither player really too healthy here. Stacks about even again. Ghost Walk is up. Vision has just been popped by DAHANG, so he has the information. He's going to miss the rail on the bridge and drop down immediately to not give up any damage.
But once more, piercing sight's been activated. DAHANG has collected hourglasses, as you can clearly see here near the top banana. But I think by the time the next fight happens, he should have it ready again, opening up that mind game that's ever present. Hasn't been present this time. It very much has been used a little bit differently. So far, AVIC using it to try and spring the trap. Does get one rail, looking for some more damage. I mean, that heavy machine gun's been real MVP for him so far. Rocket damage should be a follow-up frag. DAHANG cannot escape that one. And AVIC not only getting the frag, but getting it with plenty of stack to spare, so he can really lay that pressure on if he wants to. Mega's up now, so he's going to be able to reward himself just a little bit, but spring the trap near DAHANG. By all accounts, should be another frag, of which he is able to pick it up 3-1. And the heavy spawning, and that natural cycle of items, it just continues.
AVIC getting stronger now, missing with that rail, but up 2. He's feeling pretty good. Catching out DAHANG off the spawn. Might be able to catch him over here by the Mega, too. Needs to be very careful here. He does hear the jump pad. Trying with the tri-bolt here to get a little bit of damage, waiting for the cross now with the rail. Very patient play as we're getting close to the 7-minute mark. 3-1 AVIC. Can he send it to a third map?
Yeah, no, he's looking for it. He's not going to be satisfied if it's 2-0.
What just happened?
I'm not quite sure. A bit of an ambush, perhaps. AVIC wasn't making any sound. It was a complete ambush in some ways. And
It's
the
that
piercing
frag.
sight was on cooldown, so limited information, I suppose.
4-1. DAHANG needs to get all of this damage here. Doing a lot of work with the machine gun. The Mega's going to be up shortly, but the Ghost Walk's going to be popped, and that's going to force him off the Mega. And can he get this frag again? DAHANG so relentless with the aggression. There's the rocket jump up. The swap to rockets won't land for AVIC. And DAHANG, 27 HP, does get that frag. Extremely weak.
Yeah, as a bonus, AVIC at the very least was able to prolong that flight long enough to do enough damage that DAHANG has got the frag, yes, but now he is automatically on the back foot. You know, AVIC, all he needs to do is try and re-pick up another frag, and he's been able to create the lead that existed for a fair few minutes beforehand. However, DAHANG able to stop the bleeding significantly, using the jump pads quite a risk. Oh, that's a very good rocket for AVIC. Decent damage, has to watch for the rail, and he hits the shot he was looking for. 2 minutes to get 3 frags is definitely possible, but against AVIC, who's just looking this good, it's going to be very tricky indeed.
And I think DAHANG missed the ledge clip on that one when he went up the jump pad, so that was a free rail for DAHANG and AVIC, and he takes advantage.
By the looks of DAHANG's reaction, I can assume that's what happened. He looked a bit like, oh man.
It's like, golly. Missed rail from AVIC. At this point, it doesn't really matter. A minute 30 left. All the pressure's on DAHANG. AVIC up 3. And a Ghost Walk in the pocket. That always helps, just in case things go sour. There's a rail. Hits another one. That's going to hurt, especially after the Mega pickup. That's huge for AVIC. Almost getting another rail there as DAHANG goes through the telly, and he does. 50 HP for DAHANG. Doesn't have much of a choice. Has to push in a little bit of tri-bolt from the bridge here. AVIC fighting back, looking for a rail, trying to decide which weapon he wants to use to get that frag, as DAHANG had no choice. He had to fight there. A minute left, 4 frags down. Nearing impossible here. Good work from DAHANG on that LG, 27 HP. And AVIC giving him a chance. He's like, let's fight. You want to fight? And there's another frag with the rail. 7-2 off the spawn as well. AVIC finishing strong here on Blood Covenant.
By all means, this should be a map 2. And I think we're going to go all the way here, 40. We've reached that point where DAHANG's a little bit desperate. He has to just try and make anything happen. Not that he really has the time anymore, but the moment you're forced to be a little bit more aggressive, you just risk giving up frags because you have no choice. You have to try. 30 seconds on the clock, and that's just a denial, if anything. That's no win for you, and no bonus frags for you either.
You get nothing. You lose. Almost good day, sir. We're going to head into a map number 3, though. Another great rail from AVIC here. Now it's just a little bit of aim practice for both players. There's 10 seconds left on the board. 8-2 for AVIC. He's going to take map number 2 against DAHANG, and that's going to take us all the way to Awoken. And we're going to see a little bit of Ranger and Doom. AVIC with strong play there on Blood Covenant.
But quite a lot of the early starts were coming from AVIC's just positioning. And that's one thing that's kind of like, I think, really separated him in this series specifically, is there's been quite a few angles here. And we actually saw that exact angle hit twice. Yes, the second time was right at the end when DAHANG was a bit more desperate, so the movement was a bit more predictable. But AVIC, at the start, playing off the couple of items really well, where he was kind of specifically not picking them up. With DAHANG, I can only assume DAHANG was assuming him to take items earlier than he actually was, because he was hitting certain angles and going around certain corners. AVIC was kind of just lying in wait with either LG to trap him or just a rail angle. And DAHANG was kind of falling victim to that multiple times. AVIC being a little bit unpredictable with his general positioning. Right here, springing a trap on DAHANG multiple times, which is kind of weird. DAHANG almost looking like he hasn't got enough information when he's playing the champion that should have the most information in the game. I really feel like the piercing sight was used so regularly as a sort of like pre-entry tool. We really didn't get to see it used as a counter to Nyx at all, which was, I think, a testament to AVIC's use of the Ghost Walk, using it so sparingly. There was almost always off rhythm when it comes to cooldowns of the piercing sight. And then, about once that awkward point was reached where DAHANG had to try and force the advantage, AVIC was so well fortified. How do you make a comeback versus someone that's just dug their heels in and they're having crazy stack and hitting loads of shots on you? It's very hard to do, I'm sure.
Damn near impossible there as we take a look at the stats for that map. AVIC coming back strong, sending us to a third map. 8-2, 39% rail, 41% LG. Really good LG work there. Item control looks about split. 8-12, nothing too crazy, but the damage was there. And the W is there for AVIC.
Just putting himself in the best position to just win fights convincingly. You know, it wasn't about constant control for AVEK. As you can clearly see, the stats reflect it. It was just being in the right place at the right time all the time. And that's map number 2. Awoken to finish the job. Ranger versus Doom. Hard to call this one. I know we both predicted a 2-1 on opposite ends, to be fair.
Just constantly fighting, always bickering. That's what we're doing. Ketchup and hummus, back at it again.
But I feel like, you know, at least we're both in tune with... I feel like DAHANG still has the ability to pull this one off. But AVEK, you know, he's just looking so good this weekend. And you know, I'm not going to keep talking about it or anything, but I just know he's had a bit of a tricky weekend. It's just nice to see
It's been a trip. It's been a trip.
It would stress out, you know, even the hardest of minds. You know, a very, very stressful ordeal. And it's just awesome to see that it looks like you'd never have guessed. Had we never have brought it up, you'd never have known. And that's a testament to, I think, his skill and, I guess, professionalism, right? The legacy with someone like AVEK. However, going into our final map, Awoken, whoever wins this is going to advance and face off against Maestro Razy, and the loser is out of the tournament.
AVEK gets that mega spawn, going straight to the LG now with a little bit of tribal. He's going to chase through the telly with the LG. The nails from DAHANG coming out. A little bit of tribal near the end there. As DAHANG tries to fend him off with the nails, that's going to send AVEK packing towards Banana for the time being. He wants to position for this mega. T-Con position here, so strong. Can kind of control everything, hear everything. As he's going to make his way to the rail. Heard the heavy pickup. Great shot from DAHANG through the drive-through window there as AVEK will make his way to the mega. Now he can fight back with the rail, still trying to get in on these rockets, being very careful. Doesn't want to fall into a trap. That's a great rail from AVEK there. Into LG. He's going to drop down. Gets a little bit more damage. And he's going to deny that 50 and send DAHANG packing.
But, you know, AVEK, he's got the frag in sight. You know, he's trying to see if he can head off to DAHANG in any way. Fortunately, thanks to those light armors that he takes, makes it a little bit tricky for DAHANG if he has to retreat nearby, but finally get some information. You could really tell AVEK wasn't 100% convinced. Has to kind of concede that heavy in that regard. You know, thanks to the Dire Orb being able to instantly position, AVEK wasn't really able to, especially for where he was standing, kind of stop that. However, he can make DAHANG regret trying to pick it up.
Those rails, just absolutely patient with those rails, lining them up. DAHANG using the orb to get to heavy, and then he had really no choice other to maybe rocket jump away, but it kind of trapped himself. AVEK takes advantage, gets that frag.
It's one of those games where it's the heavy got taken, but at what cost? Because AVEK still has maintained a wonderful stack too, and thanks to being able to consistently take mega, and now heavy. This Doomslayer's looking pretty beefy. But DAHANG forcing it. Regular old Banana, which kind of has, you know, yes, the LGs there, but you haven't got a lot of real resources with the exception of some of those small pickups that you're getting forced to retreat. Won't really make a huge deal. The rail doesn't quite hit its mark. But as long as AVEK maintains this massive stack, it's going to put a lot of pressure on DAHANG to kind of get those opening shots. However, AVEK getting caught swapping weapons. DAHANG, is he going to be able to pressure this, or is he going to be able to disengage? That rail was so crispy, and so was the second. AVEK's accuracy this whole series has been off the chain.
His rail is scary. The Polish Prince looking so strong. Needs to be careful. The Dire Orb comes out. The shotgun taps him on the back here. AVEK a little bit weak, but he's going to be right on time for the mega. And yeah, those rails so good. AVEK was so weak. Needed to hit both. Did it. Converted. 2-0. Make that 3-0 as the rockets come flying into DAHANG's face. And this could spiral out of control. AVEK does need rockets, but that's a mere double jump away. Misses with that rail. DAHANG lands his, and that's what DAHANG needs to try and get back into this here. Uncontested rails.
At the very least, DAHANG's able to get an unchallenged heavy finally. He's able to bring back something that isn't really fought for, but the damage is still looking real good from AVEK. Always having an escape route and plan. Plenty of things to fall back on if he needs it. And he's just looking for one of those tricky rails automatically. DAHANG has a massive stack, and importantly, DAHANG hits a rail. That's the beginning of what could be his first frag on the board. AVEK now having to be very, very careful. Getting stuck on Awoken without armor is miserable. And speaking of armor, finally able to.
It's like, you're right, Ketchup. I want those. You feel a bit naked with that armor, don't you?
Especially against someone that's hitting crazy rails.
What a Dire Orb.
Perfectly timed on the mega at the same time. Absolute precision timing. And he's finally been able to score himself a frag. And we've seen Awoken many a time. This is a map where comebacks are possible, and no lead is safe until we're on the 1-minute warning.
3-1. Ooh, a little bit of rocket damage on there. He's going to have the information as he's waiting patiently for that heavy. That's going to pop, and the split between the items is pretty decent. Now that DAHANG took the telly route, he might have to fight through the T-Con. This is going to be a rough one, especially against Tribal here. LG comes out. Havoc's going to be able to secure the Mega, but at what cost? The LGs come out. Lots of damage in the rocket right in his face as Avoc gets taken out.
And I think as a bit of a bonus prize, really, the fact that Avoc had the LG out, dropping the LG and giving DAHANG the ammo to make this next fight possible. If Avoc didn't have the LG out at that time, he wouldn't really been able to give DAHANG that opening to just pepper him down the way he did.
Free ammo is always good. 3-3 as DAHANG gets another one. The Tri-Bolt. Well placed from Avoc, but the Dire Orb again, aggressive play. The rockets come out from DAHANG, and he finishes with the LG, and the Mega was right behind Avoc. So DAHANG says, thank you very much. I'll take the frag, I'll take the item, and he's looking stronger and stronger as we're getting closer and closer to the midway point. 4-3 for DAHANG. A little bit of Tri-Bolt through the drive-through window. No real damage here as DAHANG waiting patiently for this heavy.
I love that fight from DAHANG too, knowing that if he's able to beat him to the light, he still has a stack that's more than capable of fighting. And then thanks to Range's passive of doing less self-damage with rockets, using a rocket launcher at that range is nowhere near as dangerous. That whole thing was just calculated through and through. He's able to bag himself another frag. He's got perfect timing on both of the major pickups, and that has been a problem for Avoc so far, that DAHANG is just always just surgically arriving the millisecond the item appears. And because of the Dire Orb, he can just be there on a whim whenever he wants. Avoc has to show it respect, and it's giving Ranger and DAHANG this massive presence every time an item appears.
But Avoc doing really good damage. The Dire Orb used by DAHANG to get the heavy in that rocket from above. Could have been a little more lucrative for Avoc. Still only up by 2, though. Nothing is certain as DAHANG playing it slow. He wants to take it a little slower, try and burn out this clock. I'm sure another frag or two will make him feel a lot happier here, a lot safer. Right now, just trying to not give up any information. There's a free rail in the back. Avoc makes his way to heavy. The LG comes out. The rocket spam will not land. DAHANG rocket jumps up. Doesn't quite secure that 50 shard. He's going to have to do it again. Second try is good at this time. Very successful on that.
The problem with that too, actually, is that he kind of lost a few seconds right before Mega spawned. So it did kind of give Avoc an uncontested Mega in that respect. DAHANG's not going to be super bummed out about it, though. You know, he still has the lead, right? So he's still in a position where he's the one that can kind of dictate how things go. But so far, this hyper-defensive game, DAHANG really prioritizing the center of the map to get as much information as possible. Has to watch out for the Tri-Bot, though, especially with the health he's got. He knows that Avoc has just taken the heavy. And the rockets not quite able to hit their mark. Some good LG damage, though. Avoc, and be very careful. The Tri-Bolt not quite hitting its mark just yet. Excuse me, sorry.
Perfectly. It's okay, I'm getting choked up too as we're 7 minutes in here.
You ever had hiccups, right, when you're trying to talk on commentary?
Constantly.
My word.
My entire life is a hiccup here. As DAHANG grabbing that lower 50 shard, 5-3, still in the driver's seat here, but playing a little bit slower. He's just raining down rockets on Avoc. Avoc dancing all day. Great rocket there. But still, the stack for DAHANG is huge. LG on LG. The Dire Orb is available. There it is, up to the Mega. Good rail from Avoc, but again, DAHANG, knowing that the item is right there, takes the risk, calculated risk, and it works out. He's got a 50 shard as well. And again, he's totally fine with playing defensive. 2.5 minutes left. Avoc needs to put the pedal to the metal here a little bit. Does have time, but it's getting close.
With the way this map is going, too, every time one of those major items appears, it's kind of almost impossible for Avoc to be able to beat him to the punch and swap to the rail. The magic moment's going to get him. But that Dire Orb, it really makes a massive difference when these fights happen. And the time is perfect once more. Avoc tries to see red, pop the Berserk, does not work out. Forced into melee only, and DAHANG's going to just delete the stack that was remaining. And I really feel like a huge part of these fights is just DAHANG is timing them so well. Like, he has it down to an absolute T. So when a fight breaks out, he's always there first, thanks to Dire Orb positioning, with the exception of now, obviously, because he knows Avoc's already there. With no rails, though, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get that final shot. You know, if he had one more rail shot, maybe Avoc would have even been fragged again, because that would have been too weak. DAHANG would have been able to lay the pressure on, but he's keeping the timing out on the Mega. And even though a heavy got taken, you'd never have guessed how weak Avoc is right now.
Yeah, very, very weak here, but he doesn't have a choice. So 1 minute 40, he's got to grab what he can and start pushing. 4 frags on Awoken is going to be difficult, not impossible. There's a Dire Orb, a little bit of misdirection. That donk of a rocket right in Avoc's chest. That could be the one that crushes his dreams here. Up 4, DAHANG's going to slow things down, take a page out of Dewey's book, try and kneel out this clock here. AVIC needs to find him. There's the push, but the Mega's right there as DAHANG is willing to take this LG fight, and with 17 HP will put up another frag. 8-3 for the North American hero.
I feel like we are once more reaching the point where maybe the comeback's not even possible. 1 minute warning, 5 frags left to go. DAHANG has just established so much threat, and it is constantly coming down to just immaculate timing. And even though it looks bleak for him, bam, Mega appears, bam, heavy. It has mostly been the Mega, sure, but thank you very much for the awareness of Diororb and just his positioning in general. So good here. 45 seconds left, looking to finish the job. Both players so weak, 3-1 I think the HP was at that point.
Yeah, and there's a great rail from AVIC. 30 seconds left, on 2 HP, but the Mega's gonna spawn. He needs to go on a tear right this second here, checking every nook and cranny, and DAHANG is taking his time. He doesn't have to go anywhere here as the clock is burning down, and it looks like DAHANG has bested AVIC.
15 seconds, this win's guaranteed, my friend. DAHANG, well played versus AVIC here. AVIC putting up one hell of a fight, but I just think once that sort of cycle began, it was almost impossible for AVIC to break that cycle. You know, he was constantly where he needed to be. He was always outstacked, again, thanks to positioning and the Diororb to just go, I'm going to be on Mega at this precise moment. And in some cases, AVIC, he was originally trying to sit on those points, and the orb was both doing damage and then pushing him away. So he tried to outposition. He tried to stay a little bit at more range and go, right, well, if you're going to Diororb, that's okay. I'm going to try and remove some of the damage I'll take from it. And then he's kind of like at a weird position where you almost have to concede it at that point, because staying on the point is way too big of a risk to take.
Yeah, wow, just look at this. AVIC, strong start. The way that went, you wouldn't think that it would be that strong of a start. AVIC had everything going for him, and then that aggressive Diororb play onto the Mega, perfect timing.